Alright guys, so I'm starting to record this a little bit late. Pretty much I already have the cams already swapped in here. This one I just put in and I just slightly started tightening it, but it's still not fully tightened. So pretty much what I'm doing for this side real quick is I am doing the cam phaser lockout, and this is pretty much what it looks like once you have it in there. As far as the eBay ones, don't really fit on there. You gotta Dremel them or just sand off the corners a bit. I do recommend, if you're gonna do the lockouts, go with the liver noise ones. As far as this one, we're pretty much done with it, and honestly, as far as swapping out the cams, it was pretty straightforward. At first I thought it was going to be a lot harder, and that's kind of why I wasn't recording at the beginning. I was just trying to figure out which cam was which side and how to properly loosen them. And as far as lining up where the cam is, if it's too back or too forward, this front one kind of has the little molding that'll hold it in place, so you'll just kind of use that one to line up the distance. As far as for the front, I do have to take off these guides and the tensioners, but before I can do any of that, the first thing I got to do is take off this oil pump, and I am going to be swapping it out for the Melling's high volume pump. And while I have that off, I'll also remove the water pump, that way I can swap it out for a new water pump. Pretty much all we're really trying to focus on is basically swapping out the cams, which already got done, putting in the lockouts, and it should be pretty straightforward. Alright guys, so as far as timing and everything with the engine, everything's going pretty good. I've just been taking my time on it. As you guys can see, I've already swapped out the guides. As far as the water pump, I haven't taken that off yet. I did loosen everything down here. I have the pickup tube just draining, and then the oil pump is fully unbolted, ready to come out. That being said, I'm just gonna get back to working on this and trying to get it done. It is currently 1:16 in the morning, so I do want to finish this tonight. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to focus on swapping all the components on there, and pretty much just getting everything done as possible. Alright guys, so this is a bit of a late update, and as far as working on this, since the last clip you guys saw me work on it, it's been about 2 to 3 weeks. I actually didn't get to record as much as I wanted to. I didn't want to interfere with building the engine properly just because I wanted to get more clips. So yeah, I just been kind of focusing on putting everything together in the correct order. As far as where we sit right now, just put on the oil pan. It's not fully tightened just because I do have to put the RTV on the front cover. No, but as you guys can see, I already have the gasket in here. I did put a new front main seal right here. So as far as the rear main, it's pretty much ready to go on there. As you guys can see, the area is already prepped up. Everything's already cleaned back here. The crank's fully cleaned. Cams are fully in. Everything's fully on there. I did oil them up. I probably will oil them up one last time once the valve covers fully go on there. As far as everything around it, it's already clean to get the new gaskets on there, which is pretty much where I am at right now. And as far as the valve covers, basically what I did is I kind of just went with the wire brush over the stock valve covers. And as far as how this looks on the engine, I really love how this looks with the front being really clean. Also, this little oil filter housing is really clean as well. Basically all the parts that you guys see that are really clean, like the rear main, the valve covers and all that, I pretty much just took it to my work and I put it in the parts washer, and that thing basically just cooks up the parts at about like 180 degrees, and that's pretty much what I did with all the parts. And yeah, we're basically just at the point where we're installing everything onto it. So yeah, basically I just wanted to be able to film the engine itself before I put it back together. But let's just get to the time lapse and we'll just see where we go from there. Where the engine sits right now, it's pretty much ready to be dropped in already, besides just a couple of minor things. For example, on the front we do need the crankshaft pulley, and we were just waiting for a bolt for that, so we got that today in the mail. So it's just about bolting it up on there. We will be using a little bit of RTV for the keyway. Besides that, that pretty much completes the whole look on the front. And as far as the spark plugs, I did gap all of them just to make sure they're all the same. We do also have the oil slinger for the back, for where the rear main is. Pretty much once I'm ready to bolt up the transmission, I'll just pop this on there, so it'll just make it easier. But yeah, pretty much the engine is where it should be. It's pretty much ready, so let's just get it done, and then I'll show you guys what the end result is.
3:28 a.m.
Alright guys, so the engine is officially just done. I mean, everything on it is pretty much done already. As you guys can see, I already got the harmonic balancer, or aka the crank pulley, already on there, and it took quite a bit actually. I just used the little rubber mallet to tap it in there, and then I started just using the bolt itself to pull it in. To tighten this bolt, it is kind of a weird torque sequence. You torque it down to 66 foot-pounds, and then you're supposed to do 360 degrees loosen, and then you do 37 foot-pounds, and then after the 37 foot-pounds you do an additional 90 degrees. So I did that, and I'm not gonna lie, I also just hit it with the impact for like 2 seconds, just a whole just 2 seconds, just to be sure. There's also a little bit of thread lock on there, so it should be fine. But yeah, this is pretty much the whole thing. The engine is pretty much ready to go. Now a little quick breakdown of what we actually did to the engine. Basically we just sealed it up. We did all the gaskets and seals that it needed. We also did a full timing kit, except for the cam phasers. Instead of putting in new cam phasers, all we did was lock them out with the billet lockouts. So we have all new timing components. We also did the water pump, and we also did Melling's high volume oil pump, and we do have the hot rod performance cams in here as well now. But as far as what I wanted to achieve on the engine, it's pretty much there already. It's just minor things now. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.